I think if you're thinking we're starting at 9 o'clock, I don't even know what time it is, but if you can't tell, we've already kind of started. I mean, we'll do some things that are organized here in a few minutes, but really this works out good. There's a lot still going on, and you can see these boys just playing with their horses. They're just doing stuff with horses that people are usually afraid to do with 3-year-olds, and so we'll do some things after a while, and just like Austin there on his horse, leaned down and picked up a football. I can't even lean down and pick up a football when I'm on the ground. So we'll do some more official stuff here in a few minutes, but just look at these horses. Come ask any questions you got about any of these horses. If you can see the hip numbers, you'll see where they are in the catalog, and we'll get more official here in a few minutes. Hey, one of the things we're going to do, Mr. Riley Olson always starts every session and ends every session with these boys going to the Lord in prayer. And we know some folks are still walking in, and we're going to do it on the microphone. We're really not doing it for anybody other than the Lord, but thought you might want to join with us and these young men honor and glorify God by going to Him in prayer every time before and after they work. So we'll do that real quickly, man. Father, we're just grateful for all that you've done, most importantly, the salvation that you've offered us through Jesus Christ, to pay a price that we can't pay. Father, we just ask you to be with each one of these boys and these horses, keep them safe. We ask you to be with the men here at Agapé that just pour their hearts into these young men, helping teach them about you, teach them about honor and truth and righteousness, and we just thank you for the gift of these horses to help make young men. We pray for all the folks that have come, that you'd keep them safe today, give them safe travels home, and everything that we would do, Father, we pray would honor and glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, the fellas that normally are doing most of the training of these young horses and boys, they're getting some things ready, putting some finishing touches on getting ready for the preview and the sale. And so I'm a fellow that's just been blessed to come spend about 3 or 4 times with these boys. I get to stay a couple days apiece, and one of my buddies, Craig Barnett, kind of working the gates, a veterinarian. I guess he's up in the stands now, and we've just really gotten to know these boys and gotten to know a little bit about these horses. So I'm not the guy that is put in all the hard work with these young men, but I'm the guy that sure has gotten to know them and think the world of each one of them. And so we're just going to do a few things. It'll be kind of like a cakewalk here at first. They'll probably be glad to see Mr. Olson, where he'll make them do a little bit more challenging things. But we might just show folks how you guys go to the rail, and let's just walk going counterclockwise, right? Just take your horses to the rail and space them out. We'll walk going counterclockwise or off to your left, and just kind of show folks these horses. I'll try to be quiet. Nobody likes a guy yakking on a microphone when they could be talking to the person next to them. But if you got any questions, just step up to the fence. Yeah, you know what? I think walking with that flag's fine, and if somebody else wants to carry it at a walk, I mean, these boys are always up for taking their horse to the next step. So any of you that saw the preview saw Taraku here on the 24 hipped horse did a really good job with this horse yesterday, and he's one of the boys that came with a little experience. The rest of these boys, many of them had no experience prior to the Colt starting class this fall, and we're just gonna walk and trot, maybe get into a little canter, and just show you a few easy things at first, and it'll get more exciting as we go. And if you're in a stand and you're related or tied to one of these boys, feel free to wave at them, and it's good for their horses to get waved at and wave back, and it's just a family deal. Glad you're here today. Hey, while the boys are walking around, Agapé also allows any of their buyers, anybody who's bought an Agapé Ranch horse and got the Agapé Ranch brand on the hip, like Frank Alford here. He's riding horse number 7, Buttercup. He actually showed Buttercup in the futurity yesterday, and so what that means is he bought a horse, bought a couple of horses, took them home, and rode him, brought him back, put him in the futurity competition, and then he's going to run them through the sale. So his horses have got another year of riding on them, and so his horses will be offered for sale. His first horse in your catalog is horse number 7, Buttercup. That's the horse he's mounted on right now. And the second horse that he'll be putting in the sale, and you'll probably see here after a while, is hip number 9. And that horse is Dusty. He rode both these horses, and they both did a nice job just being put to the test yesterday. So that may be why he looks a little older than most of the boys and looks smarter than the guy with the microphone. That's because he's a consigner and does a good job with his horses. He's an ag teacher as well, and I kind of watched how he handled his horses yesterday. And if I still had youngsters in school, I'd be trying to get into that school district, because you see a guy handle his horses with firm but quiet and kind resolve. You kind of have an idea that's the same way you handle his students in class, right? You got to have firmness, but you got to do it with kindness and gentleness. And so he done a nice job. I just met him yesterday, but I've been watching him a lot with his horses. So anyway, I promised you I wouldn't talk the whole time, and I've been talking. I'll be quiet. this 24 horse riding in front of the grandstand right now. That horse is ridden by Taraku, and this is going to make a nice horse. This was a little tough horse, and so they put the right man on him. And if you were at the preview yesterday, you know, they've been working some with these flags. But you get these horses out in front of a crowd, you get them a different vibe. You get folks coming in and out. Then you had to praise the Lord for the wind. It gives us a little breeze, but boy, it makes that little tarp, that flag they made there, it makes it really flap. And I got to tell you, Taraku has done a really good job. That horse really had a hard time with that yesterday, so they just stopped right here in the preview and they just worked on that horse, so you could kind of see what they do to get these horses past some of their fears. And you can see right there it's flopping a little bit, and that horse would like to get away from it, but Taraku's doing a nice job with him. And so you see coming up on the rail there, number 15, the 15 horse. There's 5 of these horses that were donated by Merck Animal Health. They're grade horses, so they're not registered. And boy, this is another one that he's going to make a nice big ranch horse. And I'll tell you, Cutter, who was a student and is on the staff now, he has done a tremendous job with that horse. And that's all right. That's enough for me for a bit. Hey boys, your horses are getting bored, and the crowd's getting bored. Let's reverse, and let's walk for a minute in the reverse, so we don't just turn them around and go to gigging them. But let's reverse, and then in a minute I'm going to ask you to pick them up into a trot. Is that all right, Eric? I didn't. Yep. We just. Let's get a little. We'll get a little space here. Justin, is that Glass Eye you're riding? Yep, okay, good. All right, boys, let's just pick it up into a nice little trot. That number 11 horse is being ridden by my buddy Jacob, and he's good job, Cale. They were hoping to see the announcer get bucked off yesterday, and it didn't quite happen. It almost did, but there's still a chance today. My wife's up there, and she's shaking her head, knowing it could be exciting. That number 16 horse that Cale's riding, I was just talking to Cale earlier. He had some things. He'd been doing a lot of work on this horse. He's another one that's going to make a really good horse. He's one of the Merck horses. They came in here as big, strong 2-year-olds that were very gentle, but they hadn't been halter broke. They'd been brought up into the stocks twice a week for a little study that was being done. And so these horses are gentle, but they were used to taking care of themselves, and they're tough. And Cale has done a terrific job with this horse, and it's another one that's going to make a really good, solid horse, but is going to need somebody that's ridden, knows what they're doing. And what I was really proud of is, with all these boys, but with Cale, he's really wanting to do the best job he can showing this horse today. And when these horses just don't show the way that they've been riding for a while, and any of us that have ridden very much, that happens. You can ride them and train them and get them to the public, get them to a sale, and or get them to a show, and it just kind of comes unglued a little bit. And Cale, if he was mad, he didn't show it. He was gentle with his horse. He took his time. He didn't go to yanking. And this horse is kind of bothered, and Cale's just sticking with him. All right, boys, let's just bring them back down to a walk. Just see if we can bring them down to a walk as easy as you can. And you see what they're doing kind of here in the middle of the arena. It's been fun to watch, and you got those of it you here yesterday got to see it some yesterday. Mr. Olson teaches these boys to help each other. So Cale's horse is bothered, so Justin picks up the flag, and they're just going to ride along. You see some other boys coming in, right, and they're letting their horses support Cale's horse. And so these young men learn about not just how to support these horses with some other horses, but to support each other in a deal here. So Justin would come in and help them a little bit, and we got them in the middle. All right, you fellas, let's pick up a trot again, and then in just a second I'm going to ask you for just a nice lope. So let's transition up to a trot. My horse is paying attention again. He was asleep. This is good for him. All right, now a nice lope. And if we pass, what side do we pass on, men? Inside. We pass on the inside if our horse is going a little faster. This little horse, number 10 hipped horse. This is a horse that's consigned. This horse was bought last year. And Kurt, the 13-year-old man riding him, he rode in the Futurity yesterday, did a really good job. Youngest rider in the Futurity, and that horse will be for sale today, hip number 10. Now let's see if we can bring them back down to a trot. Nice job, Roman. Boys got brand new hats, so getting the hat sizes right. All right, on the count of 3, we're going to come to a stop. 1, 2, 3. Good job, Ben. You see if they'll just stand there for a minute. And you guys can give them a round of applause, see how these horses handle a little noise. All right, let's reverse and let's go counterclockwise. It'd be kind of to the left. Hey, I tell you what let's do. We're going to show this some more later. Cale, you don't need to do this since you got the flag. Justin, if you want to keep riding with Cale and the flag. On the count of 3, I'm going to ask you fellas to stop. I'm going to ask you to dismount and pick up a foot. All right? 1, 2, 3, stop. All right, dismount. Pick up a front foot. All right, if you feel good about it, pick up a back foot. Yeah, that's good. Just let your horse stand there for a minute. And again, Riley didn't ask me to, he probably will wish he'd have given me a script. He didn't ask me to say any of this, but I know, a lot of times when folks bring home a 3-year-old, their farrier is just thrilled. But I tell you what, these 3-year-olds stand really good. They give you their feet really good. They've done a good job working on the foundation of these ponies. And so your farrier, I think, will still take your calls. He won't call screen you when he comes to shoe these horses for you. So, all right, fellas, how about we mount back up? A lot of them are doing the flying dismount. All right, let's continue counterclockwise. I don't think we've loped in that direction, so we've loped clockwise. Let's walk, then we'll transition to a trot, and then we'll have a little lope on these ponies going to the left. All right, let's move them up into a trot. And I know this is tricky to do on a 3-year-old, but you guys are kind of wadded up. See if you can kind of time your trot to add some space, either a little quicker or a little slower. Let's add a little space so we just don't have a big stampede here. All right, let's ease them into a nice lope. Just see how easy you can break them into a lope without a runaway here. All right, now is using as little cue as possible. See if you can just bring them into a trot. You can just kind of sit down a little bit, bring them into a trot. .25 coming in front of the grandstand there. That's Christian. He's done a really nice job. I don't think he had a lot of riding experience, and boy, he's learned how to post. And that horse and Christian, they just really get along real good. You'll get to hear from all these boys. Hard for me not to say something when I see them coming by. They've done such a good job. All right, now it's just as easy as you can. See if you can just transition to a walk now. Just slow it down and walk. You know, Riley wants this to be a buyer sale, so we hadn't talked about this, but we're going to try to show you as much as we can what these horses are like. So, fellas, if you'll all gather up, let's just gather up here in the center. You know, sometimes you see these young horses riding nice in a group or riding nice when they got somebody in front of them, but now I'm just gonna call one of you fellas out and just take a nice circle. Just trot a circle around us. Kind of get far enough away that that you get your ponies unstuck from the rest of them right here. And Justin, I think since you're on the edge there, why don't you just make a circle around here to trot. Take your pony away from us and just kind of see how he gets along without his buddies. Keep him far enough away where he gets, if he's got any anxiety, he can kind of show that up. Augie, why don't you head right out? Just back him up nice. Augie's another one with no experience in joining the Colt class. Man, he's a fast learner. So just take him out there, and when you feel comfortable, get him a trot, bring him around. So I think you can see that number 6 is a nice little horse. Hey, Aaron, why don't you head out and show them what your little horse can do? Hip number 23. Malachi, you made a mistake. I saw you move. I'm going to let you go next. Malachi, he's done a really good job with this number 12 horse. Kale, nice little trot. Good job, Augie. Kale's on the, he's hip number 16 is what Kale's riding there. It's one of those Merc animal. I think that's 2 socks. Kurt, you want to show your little horse off? This is one of the horses that's consigned. Kurt's 13. He and his family bought this horse last year, rode him, and they're putting him back in the sale. Horse number 10. So, Taraku, why don't you head right on out? Alex, before your horse goes to sleep, we may send you out there. Boy, you've done a nice job with that horse. Hip number 3 is the horse that Alex is riding. He's gained a lot of confidence with this horse and put a lot of confidence in this horse. So see if you can wake him up. And I said wake him up. Is he riding a mare? Is hip number 3 a mare? That's a gelding. Okay. Cutter. Anybody that hadn't seen your horse has not been paying attention. You've done a great job with him, but let's show him again, show how he steps away there. Hey, Christian, you ready? This little 25 hip number horse, just a nice little horse. Christian's he's quiet, and you can tell it by how his horse rides. Wesley, you ready? Let's come on through here and show him how he moves away. Hip number 1, this will be the first horse in the sale right here. Austin on Flyby. Austin's been fun to get to know. All these boys have been fun to get to know. Different personalities. Austin's always friendly, comes up, asks a bunch of questions. He's from Kentucky. I go to Kentucky for the horse business some, so we've had some fun things in common. He's riding a big old grade sorrel there. Good job, Alex. Justin, did we send you across yet? Okay. Who's hiding behind me here? James. Boy, this horse has been early on was a test, and James has done a really good job with this big paint horse. Hip number 21, the paint horse in the sale, and James has done a good job with this horse. Tucker, how about you? Tucker's riding hip number 20. And I got to meet his folks earlier. Got to meet several of the boys' folks. Tucker's done a good job there. Madden, you're hiding, aren't you? No, Madden's not hiding. He's just quiet, waiting his turn. So, Madden, this is a cute little horse here, number 22. And Madden worked with him a little bit today. You saw, if you're paying attention, the flag was a little bothering, so they just worked together, and Madden got right through it and went to help some of the other horses. All right, Will. Hip number 4. Will is Will's one of the leaders, not just among the boys here in the horse program, but he's one of the leaders at the school with all the boys. And it's been fun just over the year to watch him grow and develop. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Gavin? You haven't gone yet, have you? You're just quietly waiting there. Gavin, probably, man, to see the change in Gavin and his horse since I first met him this fall. Got a lot of confidence. Man, these push-ups you guys do, they're paying off. I'm going to have to start doing push-ups before I come back next fall. You guys are getting strong. Yeah, show them what you can do, Gavin. Gavin, brand new to the horseback riding program, and just tries what you ask him to do, and building confidence, and you know, his horse has responded well. You know what? We ought to show them your horses. This is Isaiah from Alaska. Oh, Roman? Roman's hiding on me too, and you're smiling, right? You like to kind of hide on me, so we'll let Isaiah get out there. Is Isaiah riding Scarface? Is that hip number 17? Isaiah is one of the men that work with the boys who came from Alaska. All right, Roman. Quiet Roman sneaking in there on me. He's quiet because he's done a good job with this little 5 horse, and those two, this horse doesn't take any gruff. He's like, get out of my way or I'm coming through. So Roman kind of show us how he can trot away from the bunch. Eric, why don't you come on through, and Eric's riding hip number 14. What horse is that? He's riding Perry, hip 14. Eric is one of the boys who was a student here and then hired on with the Agapé staff, and he does a really good job with the boys. His horsemanship just improves every time I see him. Justin, you want to show us what you're riding? You're riding Glass Eye, number 19. Justin has done a number of jobs here at Agapé and just had a heart for Riley's Colt Class, and would come over here on his days off and help out with anything it needed doing. And Riley said, I got to have that guy more than just a few days on his days off. So he's another one of the men that's done a really good job with the Colts and the boys. All right. Yep. So Glass Eye, he wanted back into the pack, and Justin's going to say, nope, I'll tell you when we go back in, and Glass Eye's another one of those grade geldings. He's going to make a nice horse. You're going to want somebody that's got some experience on him, but he's a nice horse. He needs somebody with some confidence to take him through there. Oh, yeah, Jake. I was teasing Roman about quietly. Jake is riding hip number 11. So Jacob is Tim Malloy's grandson. Well, Jake's not only going to show how handy his horse is, he's going to be a gentleman and go pick up a hat. Jacob, you're 13 years old? Yep, Jacob's 13. You might look at horse number 11 there that he's riding around. Okay, what'd we do with the flag, man? Okay, who wants to go pick up the flag? Hang on. I'm going to go with Justin. Alex, just because he raised his hand before you said I will. And, pardon me? Hey, Frank, you know what? I don't know if you want to take your horse around, but we sure want to make sure you get a chance to show your horse. And I kind of been watching him out of the corner of my eye, and he's handy, and I didn't realize, boy, folks may have been watching these other horses. So this is horse number 7, Buttercup, and Buttercup did a real nice job yesterday in the Futurity. Frank, is Buttercup a 3 or a 4-year-old? 3-year-old. That's a nice 3-year-old he's got going. Bought it as a 2, started the horse and been riding him. And so Buttercup will be in the sale here. Boy, it's a nice horse, Frank. Thank you for showing that. And just do whatever we're going to do some things. You just do whatever you want to do to show these folks everything that horse can do. Okay, boys, we're gonna start out in a walk. We're gonna get lined out, and we get them in a walk. Justin, I'm gonna ask you to break into a trot and come back around. And I want you to pass everybody with the flag, and then you're going to give the flag to the person in the front. Once you give that flag to them, I just want you to stop your horse and let all these other horses pass you by, and then you go to the end. Then the next man that gets the flag, as soon as you get it, trot around, come pass us. You give it to the fella at the front. You stop your horse, let these horses pass you. You go to the end. Make sense? Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. Let's line out up against the rail. Just lead off, if you would there, Justin. Justin's on horse number 6 there. You can go ahead and break into your trot, Justin. They'll be lined out by the time you come back around, I think. You know, I tell you, I know folks get tired of hearing me talk pretty quick, but the boys got a chance to say a little something. Each boy got a chance to say a little something yesterday, and the crowd really seemed to enjoy that. So while you're watching these horses, just shake your head if you'd like to hear these boys come tell you a little bit about the Agapé program, if you'd like to hear that. And so I'm hearing a few of you shake your heads, so we'll do that. It won't slow you down from watching horses, but those of you that get tired of watching horses and want to hear from the boys, we'll try to do that too. So and Justin's trying to see if my horse is broke. Yesterday we identified maybe not quite as well as we'd like for him to be. Hey, Justin, why don't you ride on over here? Boys, after you pass the flag off, let a few horses pass you with your horse standing still, and then come talk to me. We'll talk for just a minute while each of you are showing your horses. Keep showing your horses, and Justin, just real quickly, tell us a little bit about your horse.
Um, Gaucho, he's really easy to get along with. He likes to. He's a little horse sour. When horses are away, he's kind of picky. He wants to be with them. He likes to. When cattle are around, he likes to work with them. He has an eagerness to work with cows. He's not really pushy about it. And he's a respected horse.
And if you would, yesterday you guys told the folks in the stands a little bit about what the Agapé program had done for you. Is there anybody on the Agapé team that you'd like to just take this chance right here to say thank you to?
I'd like to thank Brother Olson for helping me get through my hard times with my horse. Even when I thought it was dumb, he gave me a standard. He's like, "This is what you gotta do," and then he put it into a life perspective and help me got through it.
Good. Hey, put your hands together for Justin. We'll see how his horse handles some applause, and I know he'd be good for it. All right, come on up here, Justin. I've got the twin Justins. Justin squared right now. Justin is one of the men that works with the boys and the horses. And tell us a little bit about Glass Eye real quick.
Well, I've only been on him a couple times, actually. One of the other guys has been riding him, but seems to be doing pretty good. He's moving out all right. He's a little hard in the face, but that's to be expected with our program. But overall, I like him pretty well. Obviously, he's good with his feet. That's one thing you'll find with all of our horses is they're pretty easy to shoot.
Yep, good. And what is it about the Agapé program that causes you to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go to work for this outfit. I'm gonna work with these boys"? What is it?
Well, you take away the horses, and that leaves priority, and that's our boys. That's our next generation. And I've got a burden for youth. I've got a burden for our nation. You see a lot of guys, youth, just really messing up, and we have the opportunity and privilege here to take some time and try to invest in these guys. So you take the boys away, and I don't really have a job, although I love riding horses and working cows. The boys are my heart.
Good. Thank you. Hey, round of applause for Justin and Glass Eye. Who's next? Come on in here, Cutter. I always like to interview the mayor of Agapé. You're riding Bay Boy. Tell us a little bit about Bay Boy.
He's big, stout, and kind of a cool horse. He moves out really good, as you can tell. He'll get up and cover some country if he needs to.
Good. And Cutter, you were one of the boys that was you were a student here, and then when you finished here, you hired on staff, and you're working for Mr. Olson. You work with the boys. You work with the Colts. Is there anybody at Agapé that you want to use this as an opportunity to say, "Hey, thanks for pouring into my life"?
Brother Olson.
And what is it, if you don't mind? What was it that Mr. Olson did?
Having patience with me, which taught me patience when I was working with these horses.
Good. And anybody that knows Mr. Olson knows that, so good. Hey, round of applause for Bay Boy and Cutter. Thank you, Cutter. Augie, I'm going to want you to tell us about your horse. I've sure enjoyed getting to know you. Augie's the quiet, smart guy of the bunch. He's a learner, and he picks up things very quickly. Augie, tell us a little bit about your horse.
So this is Luna. I didn't originally start her. I got her at the end of, I believe, January. She was a little bit spooky, but she's been a great horse so far. I think it was more just she didn't know who I was, and then finally when that bond was created, she finally opened up to me.
And Augie, anybody you want to say thank you to this afternoon or this morning?
I never think I properly thanked Brother Justin. My hat fell in the pond, and he decided to take a swim for me and grab that. But, you know, he's been a great staff member. He's helped me a lot on my horse. You know, he's kind of the balance between, you know, all the staff members. He's the glue that holds them all together. But thank you, Brother Justin.
Yeah, good work, Justin, and thank you, Augie. Big hand for Augie. I don't know where I'm at. Who's next? Okay, Tucker will be here in a minute. Hey, while we're doing that, I just want you a chance to be able to show him a little bit. Can we talk to the crowd about him a little bit? Would you be comfortable with that? Not really. Oh, okay. Mayor, I'm sorry. Yep. Hey, standing right here next to me, showing you the big hip on this mare. Be hip number 8 in your catalog. This is a consignment horse, bought here as a 3-year-old. So been ridden a few years and brought him back to sell him here. And boy, I just kind of caught him out of the corner of my eye, just moving around, and a horse you ought to take a look at. So he'll be ridden around. You kind of ride him, look for the fella in this kind of red design shirt, and you got questions, come check this horse out. He'll be number 8. How's that horse listed in the catalog? The name. This is a birdie horse. So horse number 8, consigned horse, 5-year-old, one of the older horses in the sale. Thank you. Oh, here's Tucker. Hey, guys, on the count of 3, we're just going to stop. You'll still keep doing what you're doing. We're going to give your ponies a chance just to stand still and let a flag go blowing by them. So 1, 2, 3, stop. You keep going with the flag, Aaron. You keep take the flag to the front. Same deal. Now you're just trotting around a bunch of horses that are standing still instead of horses that are walking along. And then Aaron, you'll come over here and we'll talk for a minute. I'm with Tucker right here. Tucker, tell me about your horse.
Well, his name's Scar. He's a gray gorilla, so we don't have any information on his background or where he came from, but he's a good old boy, pretty easy to get along with. Sure, does do well with the job that you give him, so just a real easy horse to get along with.
Yeah, good. And Tucker, we've talked several times in private and talked publicly yesterday. And if you would, just what's the Agapé program done for you?
Well, like I said yesterday, it was probably the biggest thing is the value I've put on my relationship with my family, because when I got here, it was terrible, and I just hated being around them, and they annoyed me. I was embarrassed of them, and now I just love them to death, and I can't wait to get home to be around them more, because it breaks my heart every day to be away from them because of my stupid actions in the past. So,
Tucker, thank you. It takes a lot to stand up here and say, hey, I was headed down the wrong path and repented and anxious to get back with the family. Yeah, a round of applause would be good. And Tucker, thanks for having the courage to share that with us. So right over there if you want to get a picture. I know somebody'd probably like to talk to you. All right, Wesley, and then Aaron will squeeze you right in. Come on in here, Wesley. Tell us about your horse.
This is Noble. She is a mare. She's a bay horse. I don't know why she was acting a little bit skittish today. It was probably on my end, but she's a great horse to work with.
And is there anybody here at Agapé that you'd like to give a shout out to or share something about the program? I see you nodding your head, so I'm just going to put the microphone right here.
It all started with Jim Clemenson. He's the one who started Agapé. I just thank him so much for caring about boys who had problems like me and everybody else around here. Without him, I'd probably be dead right now or locked up in some detention center. So I just want to thank him for doing that.
Thank you, Wesley. Real proud of you. Not just what you did with your horse, but what I've seen change in you. Good job, Wesley. All right, Aaron. Tell us about your horse, Aaron.
This is Flax. She's a very kind and gentle horse. Haven't really had any problems with her. She's good at just pulling calves, stuff like that, working cattle. Haven't really, yeah, she's a good horse.
And anybody you want to give a shout out to or anything you want to say about Agapé?
This place has helped me become a better person, especially a better leader. Before I came here, my life was just going in the wrong direction. I got into drugs and all that stuff. Yeah, when I came here, I got saved, and then my life changed after that. So.
Good. A round of applause for Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Come on in here, Christian. I love talking to all these boys, especially Christian. Christian's a quiet, thoughtful guy, and he ponders things and thinks through things. So first, tell us a little bit about your horse, Christian.
This is Jill. She's a 2-year-old mare, really soft, gentle horse, really cowy. She's really easy to get along with. I really like her.
And anybody you want to give a shout out to or anything you want to say about Agapé?
I just want to say thank you to Brother Olson for making this all work out.
Yep. Good. Hey, a round of applause for Christian. Thank you, buddy. Come on in here, Austin. How you doing?
Good.
Tell us about Flybite.
He's a really stout horse, loves to work, can cover ground really easy, but sometimes he's a little lazy, but you got to push him through it. But he really likes to be around cows. He's going to be a good cow, herding cows and stuff like that.
Good. And anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Brother Olson, he's been a big role model in my life, teaching me how to be a better leader, because when I came here I didn't have any leadership, and I've spent time around Brother Olson and listened to his sermons and listened to him talk, and I've become a better leader because of that.
Good. Well, I've sure seen you grow a lot just since I met you last fall, so it's been a lot of fun. Round of applause for Austin. Good job, Madden. The boys do a nice job when they think I'm getting a little boring with the interviews. They feel like they need to give the crowd something. So, Madden, thank you for raising the level of entertainment here for us. Good job on that horse, Madden. Hey, I've got Gavin next to me. I already talked about him a little bit earlier. Gavin has done a really nice job with his horse. It's fun to watch Gavin grow in confidence. And so, first, Gavin, tell us about your horse.
My horse name is Arrow. He's hip number 13, and Arrow is doing a really good job with me lately. I got him like halfway through Colt Class. I got him halfway through Colt Class, so I've only had him half year. I've been working really hard on Arrow and making sure he could. Before he was really hard on like the speed gate controls, and he he kind of, when he was supposed to walk, he would trot and that stuff. So I try to work on him with that, and he's just a really nice horse. He's easy to saddle and to. Obviously, he can't stand still right now, but
I don't think my horse is helping him too much, so it's not just the two of you. You're doing fine.
He's really easy to saddle and bridle. He's good at everything you're supposed to, that you tell him to do and that stuff, and easy to pick up his feet and that stuff. So that's a bonus. Yeah.
Good. And anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my family, especially my dad. He's right there on the back row, just for coming here and watching me sell this horse. I never thought I was going to. I was raised in the city, and I never thought I'd have an opportunity to do this and to, sell a horse or anything. When I first came here, I never even touched a horse, but like they said, I just was really outgoing. I decided that I would try something new, and I just kept learning and learning and learning, and then I was able to, train a successful horse, and that's how. And I just thank everybody for being here and everybody for watching this event and that stuff.
Good job. Thank you, Gavin. Round of applause for Gavin. I saw Augie here a minute ago. You want to come talk to us, Augie? We'll just kind of keep this going, let them work a little bit. Augie, I've talked to you today? Yeah. Well, come talk to me again. We'll do one thing. I don't know where Mom is. I know she's here, so she can tell folks a little bit about your mom, and then I'll let you get back in line.
Couldn't really ask for much more. My mom's a great mom. She provides everything. She's there even if I was wrong. She always supported me, even though I took advantage of that. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry for all the things I've done.
Oh, there you go. Good. Well done, Augie. Hey, if I hadn't talked to you, come on up. You coming up here, Madden? Good. The crowd is grateful for all your work. They were so tired of having to look at me sit still. Nice job on the little horse. Tell us a little bit about your horse.
She's such a friendly and respectful horse. She's always the first one to meet you at the gate, easy to catch. Just one thing, as you saw, she really has a bunch of energy, and when she gets going, she's hard to stop. But if you calm her down and give her just little increments at a time, she's a really nice horse.
And Madden, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to here at Agapé?
Yeah, my family for just pushing me into Colt Class, and at first I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it, and then they got me involved, and it really changed my life.
Good. It's been fun to watch you these last several months. So round of applause for Madden. Well done. Who's next? Who hadn't I talked to? Maliku? Have we talked yet? Come on up here, buddy. Oh, you're ready for the flag. All right, you do the flag and then you come talk to me. Where's Taraku? Have we talked, Taraku? Come talk to me and you can get back in line. Taraku, tell us a little bit about your horse.
This is Jack. He's an athlete. He's a little evasive, but he's willing to work with you if you're willing to work with him.
And anybody here you want to give a shout out to?
I'd like to give the shout out to the Dean of Students here. When I got here, he just kept it real with me, saying, if you keep your life like this, you're going to just be, a person full of anger and hatred. And he gave me real reasons why I want to join the military, because before I came here, I wanted to join the military not for the best reasons, so he gave me some things to really think about.
Good. Taraku, I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm anxious to hear what happens as you step out into the next chapter. So, folks, give Taraku a big round of applause. Roman, have you come to talk to me yet? Do you want to come talk to me? You don't have a choice. Look at that quiet horse. Roman's quiet. His horse is quiet. Come tell us about your horse, Roman.
She's a very good horse. She learns quick. She likes to kick a lot. That's about it.
And anybody you want to give a shout out to here?
Brother Junior for influencing me and showing me that I should follow the Lord, and to Brother Olson for correcting me when I needed it most, and to Brother Julio for being like a father because my parents gave up on me. So, yeah.
God bless you, Roman. Thank you, son. Really proud of you. James, you ready to come talk to me? Or what? I tell you what, just stay right there. We don't have to make it look like a picture album. We just want to hear from you. Tell us about your paint horse.
My paint horse is named Hatchet. He's a little bit lazy, but that's exactly like me, so Brother Olson set me up perfectly with him.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's turn. You face the audience, your family here. They don't care anything about seeing me. They want to see your face. Let me turn and we'll continue this. And there, turn right there. And then I think we can probably get close here. So, who you want to give a shout out to here at Agapé?
Brother Junior, because he's just showed me how to be a servant leader. He's always the last one to get water at the end of the day. He's always the last one to get his food, and all he wants to do is serve others. And so he's been pretty big influence on my life so far at Agapé in Colt Class.
Good. Good. Thank you, James. Let's get a round of applause for James. Hey, any of you boys that I hadn't talked to, just trot on up here. I'm going to get you lined up. We want to hear from you, but we need to give our consigners a chance to show their horses, so we don't want to miss the chance for you to tell us about your horse and what this program's done for you, but we gotta get it ready to sell some horses too, so I don't want folks to miss the chance to see some of these consigned horses. I've yet to see this man without a smile. Alex, tell us about your horse.
Well, my horse's name is Wedge. He is a very lazy horse, so you might need to put a little bit more effort in when you're trying to make him trot or even lope. But he is a very good horse, always has been there to like help me out through the struggles in this class, really.
And who do you want to give a shout out to?
I would have to say Brother Junior, because during the first few weeks of Colt Class, like he has actually been there a lot, trying to make my horse go, trying to build up my confidence, and yeah.
Good. Thank you, Alex. A round of applause for Alex. Come on up here, Malaku. This guy always comes up to say hello wherever I am whenever I first get here to Agapé, so it's always fun to talk to you. Tell us a little bit about your horse real quick.
Well, she's very patient once again, and she's very smart, and I want to say she's the best horse out there. That's it.
Yeah, good. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here at Agapé?
Yes, I want to say every staff, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Malaku. Big hand for Malaku. Come on up here, Jacob. Can you tell us anything about that horse they threw you on here at the last minute because they needed a top hand to show him?
She's very willing to do anything. You just have to catch her. She's hard to catch. Her front feet lately have been kind of hard to pick up, but that's about it. Very nice horse. Smooth riding.
And Jacob, I know you're 13 and you're not a student here, but you do spend a lot of time with Mr. Olson. Anything you want to say about his influence?
Yes, he's been a great influence, and he's taught me most of everything I've known to ride a horse. And all these other great men around here that stay up to 12 at night just doing stuff for him.
Good. Big round of applause for Jacob. Cale? Nice job. These two guys didn't want to stand by each other yesterday, so you're doing a good job. Tell us a little bit about this big, strong horse.
Well, I think he's a pretty good horse. Kind of like I said yesterday, I think he's got a lot of opportunity and potential to go anywhere, any direction. Whoever buys him and wants him to go. I think he's very, very athletic. I think he'll really test you on a lot of things, find out what he can and can't get away with. He speaks to a lot of new things. He don't like flags, as y'all saw.
And anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Brother Olson. I came here knowing how to work hard, but when I came here, it was kind of like, I'm going to get it done. I don't care how I do it. But when I came here, Brother Olson told me, and Brother Justin's like, we're going to do it the right way. And it's.
Yeah, good. Well, I can tell you've taken that lesson to heart. It's been fun to watch you. So, big round of applause for Cale. Will? Been fun to watch your leadership, son, and not just impressed with what you've done with your horse, but you're impressed with you. Tell us about the horse first, and then I want to hear a little bit more about you.
Yes, sir. So Scamp, she's very calm, very patient, very easy to ride. Sometimes she needs a little extra encouragement, but she's a great horse.
Yep. Good. And Will, you want to talk about the program or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of people I'd like to thank, but one in particular would be Brother Clemson and Ma'am, because without them, Agapé wouldn't be here. So.
Good. Thank you, Will. I know how much this program means to you, and sure looking forward to seeing your next chapter in life, buddy. So big round of applause for Will. Isaiah is going to do an interview with the flag to see how broke the announcer's horse is again today. So tell us a little bit about this horse. Riley's going to come in to ensure that I get bucked off. And tell us about this horse, Isaiah.
This guy's Scarface. He's real gentle, pretty easy to catch, really mellow temperament, doesn't get too excited at things. His only downside is he's a bit lazy, so you got to get after him to get him to move, but otherwise he's a really good horse.
And why Agapé?
Because I love the Lord and I love working with horses and people, and just a good opportunity to do all of it.
Good. Good. Thank you, Isaiah. All right, did we get everybody? I think we're going to let our consigners show their horses a little bit. So, Riley, you've got a microphone. I'm going to turn mine off and let you take over.
I think we're on. So, can you guys hear me out there? Yeah, I hear it now a little bit. All right, well, Ron, thanks so much. It's been great having these guys here. Can I ask you guys to do me a favor there in the crowd? Merck Pharmaceuticals Company, we met them, of course, through these horses. Amazing how God uses horses to bring people together. And they've come here. It just started out with, hey, we got some horses. Maybe we could donate to you. You guys can get them started. Use them for, you got a program there for the boys. They come down to see the place, kind of fell in love with it. They've been behind us 100% and just working with the boys and coming down here and helping all as much as they can. It's just been great having a part with them. So especially Ron, he's been a huge help to us. So if you give him a hand for me, please, the Merck Pharmaceutical Companies, they're just. So if you have like a twitch or a need for any kind of drugs, this guy's your guy to talk to here. So. But anyway, we are going to get these boys out of here. They did a great job. And hold on one second. Okay, yep, bidders office is open. You can start getting your bidders number. So you're welcome to go do that. Now, one thing I do want to make clear is some good folks that have been really reading our catalogs, which I certainly appreciate, have pointed out to me a couple errors in our catalog. There's just some errors in the pedigree. Nothing real big. We do have the papers for the horses. No, hip number 11, the one little Jake's riding here. Holly, here he is right here. We plugged in some names. I don't even know where they came from, but her bottom side I think is all correct. Her top side is kind of different, but it's all over there. It's pretty much her top side's all Poco Bueno, but so if you want to go look at that just to make sure. There's another one of the 2-year-olds, just so you guys know, here in a little bit after we get done with this, all the 2-year-olds are tied inside the barn. You can go look at them. Their 2-year-olds are not broke. They are halter broke. They're tied. They're good, but please be careful, especially with your kids in there. But the other horse that we had a little trouble with pedigree-wise on our work is there's a 2-year-old colt in there. It looks like one mare had 2 babies. We plugged in the wrong names a little bit. I'm sure it was a fault of mine, but I had the colt's mothers are full sisters, so I just accidentally put them both for them. But all that's fixed at the office. If you want to go look at their paperwork, the ladies will show you exactly what it is. But I want to make that clear. Everything's great and upright with that. No worries on that stuff. But please kind of watch that. Anyway, we're going to get these boys kind of out of the way, and we're going to let our consigned horses come in and do anything. We got some steers we're going to bring in, let them talk and tell you a little bit about their horses. Appreciate you guys being here with us. Remember, the concession stands, they're open. All the proceeds go to the Saddle Club. We'll try to help them out as much as we can. So we'll go ahead. You guys, go ahead and just kind of drift your horses off to the other end down there. Yeah, that'd be great. No. Let me see. Hey, Cutter, can you grab your horse and come give me a hand? And maybe Justin, too. Miss Jeannie, would you mind just turning on a little bit of music while we get these steers ready? Thank you.
pale was standing by the sheriff's side. And when that sheriff said, I'm sending you to jail, Wildcat raised his head and cried, oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in, let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you.
All right, folks, if you'd kind of turn your attention over here. We have Paul over here. He's going to show his horse. He's in the heading box here. Paul and his family do a great job with their horses. This is hip number 8, and I believe her registered name is Agapé Sonia Bird. And we're going to just run through a few steers on her. This is her first time in this arena since she was sold at her sale a couple years ago. Paul's taken her and has shown her, or has performed on a roped off of her quite a bit. She's ready to go as you watch her. She's good in the box. She's really pretty cowy, and so you give her a chance here to show you what she can do. I think she's a 5-year-old. Is that right, Paul? Yep, she's a 5-year-old mare. We kept a full sister to this horse as a brood mare. It's her older sister. Her mother is a mare we call Cece, and she is the second oldest mare we own right now, and I think she could be the best producing mare we have. So any baby out of her is just a gem, but well, he'll run a few steers here. And it's kind of fun. You got Cutter coming out on his horse. A couple years ago, this little mare was shown by one of our students, and that student just happened to be Cutter. So Cutter's the one that put the start on this little filly, and he's going to see if he can put a heel shot on with his horse. So it's kind of fun. We have, this is the first time our steers have actually been run through the chute. We've roped them a little bit out here, just walking around, holding them up and roping them, but so they're pretty much fresh steers here.
On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in.
To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day.
All right. Let's give Paul a hand on his mare here. That was a pretty good showing. One thing you should notice is she was pretty quiet in the box the whole time. Really good job.
The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was in Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead, and he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped. And the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron. When he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
Yippee-yay, there'll be no wedding bells for today. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go riding merrily along. And they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? And that song ain't so very far from wrong. Oh, Lily Bell, oh, Lily Bell, though I may have done
All right, folks, we've got, we're going to move our auction block in and get our sales ring set up. And feel free to go and look at the colts inside the barn. Feel free to visit with the boys, look at their horses a little bit closer. You got any questions, find me or one of my men, and we will be there to answer anything we can. Let's see, remember the concession stand, bidders numbers are open. Remember, we'll be giving away some prizes starting right at 2 o'clock. We'll start drawing names to give away some door prizes in appreciation for your coming here. We've got some apparel and stuff we're selling over there, some hats and some vests and some shirts and some things that I think we got some coffee mugs and things over there, travel mugs. But make yourself at home around here. Hope you feel comfortable. We're so glad you're here.